welcome back to another beauty talk with your girl Kim Small. And then we have our lovely videographer, the professionals behind these wonderful videos. If y'all are enjoying these, please drop in a comment and let me know. I definitely want to take the time to shout out my videographer because he's been doing his big one. He edits a lot better than me, don't he? Anyways, we're on our way today to interview a dear friend of mine. I met her, moving to Savannah, and she has been just like such a motivation to me. She has her hands in so many buckets, the biggest multitasker that I know, and I'm so excited for y'all to meet her and we can really get into all the things that she does, because I don't even think I know all the things that she does, and I'm just excited to really sit down and have like a good business talk with her, because I've done her makeup before, like probably like 3 to 4 times, because I'm not gonna tell you anything that she does, so I'm not even gonna mention that, but I've done her makeup about 3 to 4 times, and she's always like a breath of fresh air, and we always have good talks, but we've never had like a talk like this where it's actually like just business related and I'm asking her stuff. So I'm super thrilled to just pick her brain, and I feel like y'all are gonna get so much from it. What I will tell you though is she's not a makeup artist, so if you are somebody who is, I would say, in the fashion industry, or you are even maybe a model or something like that, I think you would really enjoy this one here, or even just from like a serial entrepreneur standpoint, because like I said, she has her hands in so many baskets. And what else would I say? If you're a beauty professional, you will definitely get a lot from her, hence why I'm excited to talk to her. So yeah, just stay tuned. Before we get into it though, when you take all this info and go run with it, if you are not subscribed, you need to go ahead and do so, like right now. Now is your chance. Okay? Yeah, so anyways, you know how we do on these days, we just have a few things that we gotta do, so we're just picking up a few things before we get there, and then we're gonna hit the road. She is in Pooler, Georgia, so about an hour away from where we live. We're absolutely starving. We definitely gotta grab some food before we get there. But yeah, y'all look at my curls. I did just a little refresh today, and I like it. I think it's like popping. Obviously I have to wait for the mousse to dry down, but I like it. Yes, I thought about doing my makeup this morning, but then I just, you know how that goes, I just didn't end up doing it. But you know what, we're here and we're on time today, so I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that. We will see you later on when we hit up Trish.
I'm working on it. How are you?
Good. I'm glad to see this color, because I don't know why I imagined like the emerald green when you said green.
Oh no, like lime green, honey.
Okay. Oh, look, it makes your eyes pop so much. Are your eyes always green?
They do what they want. They go back and forth.
They're green today.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this is Deontay. I'm not sure you met Deontay. Trish, Deontay. I was like, you know her, but I was like, I don't think so. So it's my husband, Sash.
Nice to meet you.
My name
is too. He's not professional.
I'm gonna have him set up. Is there anywhere particular you want to?
No, I figured probably this will probably.
Okay, yeah, I think this right in here in the middle is good. What do you think, Helen? I like the artwork.
Are my feet in the shot?
No, it's just up to like right here. No, I told him no shots of my feet because I walked in the house in the wrong shoes.
So what made you want to start doing this? Like the interviews part?
I don't know. I think I'm kind of like you a little bit. I get bored really easy, and I just always want to. I'm onto the next.
Like, what can I do? What else can I do?
Yeah, like,
I hear you.
Like, as tired as I be, and I'm like, I never have enough time. I'm just like always like, oh my god,
you sound like me.
This is a great idea. Let me write it down and just
and then I just go after
start
it,
doing
right?
it immediately. He gets on me. He's like, did you do some research? You need to research. I bust.
My husband's the same way. He's like, but you said you're tired. Why are you adding this? I'm like, well, it's the same thing. It's similar. Yeah.
Girl math.
Exactly.
But yeah, and then also I felt like I like doing people's makeup like one-on-one and just like having chit chat.
That time with them.
Yeah, so I didn't want to do like a typical podcast like sit down and talk, because I was like, everybody's doing podcasts for one, and two, I wanted it to feel like something I would enjoy as well. And I'm like, I like doing makeup, so I'll just do makeup.
And it's awesome because people can watch you do the makeup and learn about the person you're talking to. I love the idea.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
Don't call me to stop you from doing a good idea. That's some serious lipstick.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, are these made for people?
Right, like, should this just sit on the shelf somewhere?
And the names of them are sick. This is Shekinah, and then this one's Amen, and the liners are like lit too. The name, this is Transfigure, and then the names of it is like on this.
Oh, Exalted. Yeah, this is really cool.
All right, y'all, meet my lovely guest. I'll let you introduce yourself. I'll even remove myself completely so there's no distractions at all, because she deserves a spotlight of her own, but she's so amazing.
Yay! So I am Trish Brown. I am the youngest Black female elected to Chatham County Board of Elections. I'm also the owner of this amazing studio, TBS Design, where we do image consulting, bridal alterations, and custom evening gowns and suits.
All right, so let me just start with that. Did you always want to be a fashion designer?
After I realized I didn't want to sit in front of a computer all day long, then I said I want to be a fashion designer. Originally, I thought I wanted to do graphic design, but sitting in front of that computer was like, no thanks. But I love clothing, and it makes me happy. I love sewing. Like, my happy place is lifting lace and just zoning out on something that's very tedious and time consuming.
Yeah.
But, I didn't really decide until my sophomore year in high school.
Oh, well, that's still really early. So that means you've been doing this since you were a child.
Yeah, I was.
Wow, okay. So, see, now somebody, when I talked about SCAD, I was talking to Shawnee Ross.
Yes, I love
and she was saying, because I was talking to her about Deontay, and I was like, yeah, you know, he just doesn't want to feel like a little bit intimidated going there, feeling like, you know, like the newbie on the block. Because most SCAD people I can imagine have been talented since they were like little, big.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Oh yeah, he gonna feel like that regardless. Everybody's Beyonce."
Yeah.
Whew.
I mean, you really do. When I went to SCAD anyway, like, you are looking around because you have to have a portfolio to get in.
Really?
So yeah. So you're looking around like, am I supposed to be here? Yeah.
What's the admission process like? Say that.
Well, back in my day. So we had to have a portfolio. I had to submit images, and then I did the application and an essay.
An essay about like why
I thought that I would be a good fit for SCAD, and
you went to SCAD here in Savannah, right?
Yeah, I would have loved to travel abroad, and they have programs for alumni like Après SCAD, which is you can still travel abroad and take classes as an alumni. That I would like to do those, but I definitely started as a kid in high school cutting up clothes.
I'm cutting up clothes.
That's actually how I taught myself to sew. So I was trying to leave the house in something my dad did not approve of. I think we all females have tried to do that at some point.
Yep.
And he basically stopped me and was like, nope, when you make it, you can wear it. And so I said, bet. I asked for a sewing machine. I taught myself to sew. Nobody else in my family knew how to sew. I taught myself, and then took home ec class in high school where I sewed a pillow. But then I interned with a designer. I did my prom dress, and then
interned with a designer while you were in high school.
It was when I lived in Ohio.
That's not an average childlike behavior.
I don't know. It didn't feel like major when it was happening, but it just felt like everybody does internships.
No, I had a summer job when I was 16, but at a grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at McDonald's when I was 15, so I get summer jobs. But yeah, so I didn't even know SCAD was a thing that existed.
Right, because being from Ohio.
Right, like we don't hear about Georgia.
No.
So she actually recommended that I look into SCAD, and it was a designer. It was Just Jackie Designs. I should look her up. I don't even know if she's still working. Right, like look at me now.
Right.
But she taught me how to sew, and I remember that year was so awesome because everybody knew I was making my prom dress, and so they were waiting for me to arrive, and it was so awesome.
How was it? Was it like
great.
A big thing?
It was awesome. It was like a high-low, and I love high-lows because I'm short. Anything to make me look tall, and I had like peacock feathers on the back. You
can show your shoes, like a statement shoe.
Yeah, and it was a cute shoe. I put peacock feathers on my shoe too, and it had like a black rose. So like my colors were black and lavender and like peacock colors. It was awesome. I styled my date. I put him in a lilac suit. It was good.
You know what's crazy? I feel like that that color shifting purple look I think on you would have been perfect with that. I'm just imagining.
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, I love peacocks. So that iridescent like purple. Yeah, I love it.
They are regal, like very like I feel like they would speak very
like English accent, like British. Yeah. You can't mess with no peacocks
for sure. Like that's definitely what I imagine. Oh my gosh, so now I feel like with my daughter, I definitely have to like work super hard. She wants to make like a YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Like doing her artwork and stuff, and she wants a website. She's like, I can like retail her artwork and stuff.
Your daughter sounds like my daughter.
Listen, I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. But I told her, I said, I have a camera that I started my YouTube channel with that I don't really use now. So I was like, when you can come to me with an idea, like you know what you want to do, we can get it going, because you're not just coming to me with your idea. You're asking for a business partner, because I have to edit your stuff.
No.
And upload it for you. Yeah. So you gotta let me know. Spend my time doing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like she's on the right track. Geez. So
she sounds like she is.
So somebody who is trying to get started in this creative space, let's keep it related to fashion because that's your area of expertise. Would you say them trying to start at an older age? Like, what's too old? Is there a too old?
No, there's not a too old, because at every age, somebody always is going to want to know what's age appropriate for them to wear. Not so much the younger demographic, but once you hit like 40s and up, they still want to know. Yeah, like niche. What's good for the office? What's good for after 5? What should I wear to a wedding? You know. And event specific even. These are ideas for when you're going on a date. These are ideas for when you're having birthday parties or like.
And social media just made it so easy for people really to carve out their own space.
And then like once you carve out that space, then you can just speak about that thing and not feel like you're shouting at everybody. And some of those people don't want to hear what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any age that's too young. I say honestly, the younger the better, because you're only gonna, the longer you do it, you're only going to continue honing and fine tuning that craft and what you want to actually be be So,
and you get a chance to make the mistakes early because
before they really matter, and are very expensive.
Bills and children and stuff where you can't really afford to take certain risks.
Exactly.
I do wish I was probably in your shoes where I knew what I wanted to do at a young age, because I just feel like it would have just saved me so much time.
Well, I don't know. I feel like my heart was broken so many times as far as what I wanted to do, because I wanted to be an astronaut. But then I don't have 20/20 vision. So it was like, oh, you can't be an astronaut.
That's a requirement?
Yeah. Well, at least it used to be. Maybe they changed it, but you got to have that vision to fly those aircrafts. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it kind of like, I fell into it even though I always liked it, but I'm always open to something else. Like I would play in photography or just, I think it's better to always be open to exploring different things. I don't feel like you have to have it figured out so young.
Yeah. And for me, I'll be 30 this year, and I feel like
fucking young looking.
Really?
Yes, like 20 years old.
Okay, wow. Dang, that's the second one this week. Somebody told me I look like 22. I was like 22. That's
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be 30 this year, and I feel like definitely, just like you said. I mean, sometimes I felt like guilty about just being like a little squirrelish. Like, I feel like I'm always onto something, and I'm like, maybe if I would stick with it, I would be more successful and stop like just trying to do so much. But then I genuinely feel like that's my personality. I get bored, and I just don't know if I could ever just be like, this is my one thing.
Yeah. And it's funny you said that, because I was just talking to a guy this weekend, and he was like, you know what they say, the jack of all trades is more valuable than the master of one. Because, like, okay, so say you're a master of makeup, but both your arms fall off. Well, you need to find something else that you might be able to be good at. And so I use that phrase to, like, not get so down on myself about not having a specific define, this is the only thing I do, this is what I'm good at. Because for example, when COVID hit,
oh gosh,
I went through such emotional, like, journey, because I'm not sewing, there are no events, nobody needs me, and I really had to
needs me.
Yeah, I was depressed. I really had to get back to, like, well, why did you ever even start doing this? And I got into it because I wanted to be different. And so I said, okay, well, nobody's making anything but these masks, so make some different masks. So yeah, nobody wants any clothing, so just make some fucking masks. So I started making masks with sequin fabric and really floral, pretty fabrics and lace. And then I got hit up for, like, parties and for weddings. They wanted me to do enough masks for all their guests.
That's
yeah, but not even just the bridal party. All, like, 75, 100 of their guests would get these custom, beautiful lace masks.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so I found a different niche by just getting back into what I wanted to do, which was just be creative.
And just being flexible, able to adjust. I feel like that's one of the things, because it's funny you mentioned COVID, because COVID was really when I had, like, a mental breakdown and decided to take my makeup seriously. And it was actually Deontay that was like, you should just do makeup. And I was so infuriated, because I was like, yeah, because I was like, you're not taking me seriously. Like, I'm actually stressing out, and then because I've never seen it done. But I just knew I had this anxiety about going back to work, and this was my second child. I was like, I don't want to just be working
just to pay all these bills. Yeah, I want
yes, that's like that I can control the narrative a little bit. That even I can teach my kid and leave with my kid. But I was just like, you can't pass on a job to nobody unless you own the company. And so I was just like, damn, like, I kind of feel stuck, like a midlife crisis. And then he was like, why don't you do makeup? And I was like, oh my God.
You know what? You are right. So much of this it's funny, because, like, you go through it, but it doesn't make sense till you hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they look at you from the outside looking in, because I guess because he was a photographer before I met him, he was in the space already, so he worked with makeup artists and this and the third, so he's seen it on a professional scale. Right. Me, I was just like,
I'm doing makeup,
making YouTube videos and stuff, and I'm like, I've never seen a check from YouTube. Like, why would you think this would be my career right now? Like, I can't think about it. And I have kids. Like, it's harder to make risky decisions when you have kids.
It is harder. But that's why I'm cool. I mean, I would say make the risky decisions while they're small. It's harder when they're older.
Yeah.
And then also, kids don't judge us half as hard as we judge ourselves.
And they don't need all the things we think they need. That's the thing that I tell myself too. Because sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, I really want to make it. Or, like, for me, when I see certain people who are, like, doing better than me in life or something, and it's like them posting trips or this and the third, I follow them for, like, inspiration, but at the same time it's like a double-edged sword, because it also makes me feel like, damn,
why am I not there?
Kids are living, like, such a basic life,
girl.
And I just feel like if I had, like, better work ethic, or if I had this or that, like, just life that they could have, like, they'd appreciate it.
But, like, what do you mean with, like, better work ethic? Because I feel like this put it into perspective for me too, because it's crazy. I saw this on an Instagram video. Like, we are literally on a spinning ball of dirt in outer space, paying bills. We could not have been put on this planet to work our lives away and give somebody else, like, the greatest years of our lives, just because we're trying to pay bills. That can't be why we're here.
Deep breath. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I am on a spiritual journey as well, right? Grew up in a church, kind of stepped away just because, you know how that goes. Stepped away, and then now getting older, same thought that you just had. It has to be a bigger picture here. Like, I want a deeper meaning to things and like just some purpose, you know. So going down that rabbit hole, I was like, man, like I really enjoy like these people who go on like, I quit my job and just like travel around the world.
Yes, and people do it, and it's not the end of the world.
Monuments and stuff. Yes. And they're in Egypt, and they're like, these are the pyramids, and this is that. And I was like, wow, like I'm going.
There's so much on this freaking planet.
Of her, like, I'd be like, oh, you could just do this. She would think that's asinine because she's seen so much and she knows the possibility.
She's like, why would I stop there?
Exactly. She would probably look at us like, oh God, you're such a simpleton.
Right. Like, what if you're so uncultured?
Right? Like, she'd be like, girl, you need to get out and and live.
You need to travel. Yes.
So I definitely encourage everybody to just do the scary thing. Even if people are afraid to go outside their country, I don't want to say pity, but I really feel a way when people be like, oh yeah, I was born and raised here. And I'm like,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Gotta
like you want more.
Like at least move away for a while and come back if it's like for family or this, that, or third. But I feel like everybody should just do it.
I agree. And I'm not even like down on I was born and raised here, but people that have no desire to see what else is out there.
Right.
Those are the people where I'm like, well,
they feel like where they're at is the best place ever. Like,
but that's because they've known nothing else, in my opinion. Yeah.
And that, I don't know, it seems like a mental trap where you're just so like crippled by the fear of the unknown, and you're just like, well, if I leave, it could be bad. Or
and I think that happens to a lot of Americans though, because you know, we're born and raised in like here. America's the greatest country on earth. Proud to be an American. Like, they indoctrinate you into, you know, patriotism, which is great. I love America. I love being here. But other countries do other things better, and we do some things better than other countries do. Like, this is not the end all be all. People just need to
know unless you really outsource it.
Exactly. And I think also people get trapped by that fear of the unknown. You know, like even with starting my business, I wanted to start it for so long, but my husband was afraid. You know, I was getting that regular $50,000 a year Target paycheck. It felt really, really good. But
you started your Target pays $50,000 a year.
Back then they did. To me.
Wow, that is, girl. I used to work at Walmart and.
Yeah, well, and that was when I was in my executive position, but, you know, eventually he was just like, you know what, we got some bills to slate now, why not go ahead and try your dreams now? And then I will never forget it because we were living in a house and I was looking at the end of my end of year sales report, and I was really, really close to making what Verizon was already paying him. It was like $65,000 a year. But I had started a business and I was approaching $65,000 a year. And I looked over and I said, "Look, babe, my business almost paid me more than your job." And he's like, "Well, if you can do it, then do it." And the next year I did $85,000.
See, and that's inspirational because honestly, like last year I did my taxes, right? And when I did the math, I definitely felt like I wasn't making any money all year long just because in the beginning you just spend
you're spending it on everything.
You get it and then you're like, okay, great, now
I need to buy something, right? Or I gotta pay that bill.
So like when I did my taxes and I really saw like a realistic number, I was like, wow, like this is actually what jobs pay people. So I am having a regular salary.
Yeah, it's being used to reinvest in your business.
Right, because when you go to work, you just take that paycheck and you go shopping.
Right. You don't have anything to invest it in. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, I feel like on my channel and just in general, I'm definitely pro, like, do your own thing because COVID also taught me that too. Just with them through that mass shutdown. And I was working for Red Lobster, and girl, we went to work the day before.
I believe it.
Girl, they just sent out a mass like text message, and they were like,
"We're closed.
We're shutting down. If you feel like filing for unemployment, go ahead and do so." And I'm like, "Are you gonna help us out?"
Like, we have whole lives and families.
And we were just there yesterday, and you just told us we're not shutting down.
But you know what? I mean, it was like that for almost everybody, because I remember making those calls to my brides, and they were in tears, like, "How am I gonna get my dress?" And I'm like, "We can do a contactless. Like, you can have this dress. Let me know when you actually get married." And I did have some dresses that were sitting here for a year and a half, 2 years, until they could get the guest count that they wanted.
That's crazy, because during that time, did you have to like still be paying for like your space?
So at the time, no, I didn't. My landlord was phenomenal, and I was still making good money because so many people wanted my masks that I was doing. Right. Actually, the year we shut down, I had like a 2-month hiatus, and I had my little breakdown. But after that was one of my highest grossing years, like my highest sales.
Because masks were like
they weren't anywhere. You couldn't even get the supplies to make them. Do you remember? Like we had an elastic shortage. There was no more elastic.
I remember, and
people were using bra straps to make the bands on the back of the
all kinds of stuff. And then plus they needed to be disposable, so it was just like, I mean, how many, like the suppliers, I feel for them, because it had to have been stressful. Like,
it was stressful for everybody. And then people would still like want their prom dresses and stuff made, but now retailers are like, oh well, it's 4 months shipping to get this fabric from China. Oh my gosh, it was a nightmare.
Going full time, shoot, it's been working out. And that's another thing, like it is scary, like you said, like making that leap of faith to be like, I'm gonna cut out Target and just do my own thing and rely on that. Boy, that is one of the most terrifying decisions ever, because you're just like, if it doesn't work out, that's on me.
Yeah. You know what, and I kind of use my kids as my motivation though, because I'm like, okay, you quit your job, you still got kids to feed. They still need uniforms for school. Failing is not an option.
Exactly.
So, but I will say I was smart as hell about how I quit, because I quit at the end of December, but for a bridal season, I'm sure you probably recognize like January to June is balls to the wall. So when I quit in December, I was like, we're going to enjoy Christmas, we're going to be a family, and then we're going to do this right. But then I just had the clients. It was I never missed a beat.
That's so good. And let me tell you something. I believe in divine timing. And like when something is for you, it is for you. I don't believe in really coincidences or nothing like that.
Me neither. So everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. So I feel like it's not a mystery that once you decided, you know what, you've made up your mind. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do.
And I can do this.
That things just started happening.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah. Because sometimes it's that fear in our head and just everything that we kind of put up roadblocks.
Getting our own head. But I do believe that, like, I don't want to say like the universe will provide, but like I do, like there's sage over there. Like I cleanse my space of negative energy, and I ask for the things that I want and the people I want in my lives and the attitudes I want in my life. And life has been, well, you see, life has been pretty freaking good.
And it's funny when you ask for things and you're like very specific.
Yes.
You'd be shocked how very specifically they're answered. You'd be like,
girl,
whoa.
My last vision board I wanted us to upgrade to 2 new SUVs. Now, I didn't expect us to get in car accidents to get them, but both of us ended up with 2 new SUVs within a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
See? Oh my gosh.
I don't put nothing past. There's no coincidence. Everything is on purpose.
Exactly. I definitely am like all for that. And that also allows me to not like overthink things too much. Because I mean, just from experience now of seeing, listen here, everything kind of works out in me.
It does. And like the way that you've been here in my life, and you've been doing makeup for my shows, like.
And the first time we met, I didn't even like realize.
I know.
And then I don't even think you remembered me from that first time, but I was just so happy to be at that fashion show. It was my first fashion show.
Well, because I know you did makeup here.
The Night in the Garden.
Yeah,
that was my first one, and it was through a company, so I got.
You're a liar.
Yes.
I thought I knew you before that.
Nope, not at all.
Wow.
That was the first time, and I spoke to you then, and that's how I got your contact, because I got your card. I was like, hey, like, because I wanted a network, but at the same time, you know, when you get hired through,
you gotta do. Promote yourself.
Right. You can't do that. So I wasn't like walking around like, hey, I got my own business,
No.
But I was like, oh my God, I love your work. Like, can I
you were just so, and then, you know, my friend Nisha, she loved you. And she, you know, she wanted you to do her makeup after that. So, yeah. I can't even believe that.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so cool. And then I think when I followed you and I went and looked at your page and everything, and then I actually did get to work with you after that one, I think I reached out in a message. I was like, hey, like, when we did the style shoot, and I was like, hey, like, would you like to be a designer for my style shoot? And
oh my gosh. Sure.
And I just love how you've always been like really encouraging. Like a lot of times, it's kind of like scary reaching out to people that are like more like
established
in the space.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, because I assume when I reach out, you're going to check out my page and just be like, I mean, like, what other shows have you done or what have you done?
And I really was like, no, come on, let's do it.
Right. And I was like, oh my God, she said yes. And she's giving me like a ton of dresses. And like, it was just like so easy and effortless to just like work with you. And I feel like you've always been encouraging, and you've never ever like treated me in a way where I felt like a rookie. You know what I mean?
So you didn't help me with that show that's on the wall, the photograph, the Common and Keke Palmer. You weren't there for that?
Which one is it?
We did it for Savannah State. It was a Get Out the Vote fashion show.
No, I did. So I did a couple of things. So the night in the gala, I did that. I did the style shoot with you, with McCall and stuff, and then I did the style shoot where
I did a style shoot with McCall too.
Well, McCall was on the style shoot. She was a stylist.
Oh yes, you did with the suede gold dress.
Yes. And Shawnee was there too. She got some footage, and I did. After that, we did your fashion show, the one where we were at the hotel, getting everybody ready when I did the Nisha's makeup that day. Yeah, so that was the night in the garden. No, it wasn't. That was Brightside Bazaar. Yes, you did. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you did do a makeup. Yep. And then I came there after that.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a good vibe.
It always felt like that. Like it always did, and I was like, wow, I love it. And even your whole circle in general.
You did Dancing with the Stars makeup too.
I did, and that was lit.
You did. Your makeup made that show.
Every time you stepped out there, and you just. I was like, God damn, for a girl who like says like you don't dance and you learn to do that.
Yeah.
Can we touch on that? Like, where do you get that fearlessness to just like go balls deep in stuff you've never done before?
Honestly, it's more of a fear of failure than I'm more afraid of failing than I am of
doing it.
Yeah. Like failing could never be like, that's the worst thing for me. So if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna put my whole heart into it because I don't want to fail.
When's your birthday?
January 13th. I'm a Capricorn.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm a Leo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Leo the Lion, y'all still.
That's why I was like, maybe she's a fire sign because I'm
a something. But when people hear I'm a Capricorn, they're like, oh yeah, you're a Capricorn.
No, definitely. Oh my gosh. So, oh lordy. So let's talk about all the stuff that you do. So I can't even keep up for real. So you tell me, what all do you do?
I think I already said it, but it just, I don't know if it comes my way and I feel like it could be good for my journey or like my growth. I usually will say, okay, let's do it.
So you're open to pretty much anything.
Yeah, right now, like my mission in life is to just empower others. It's why I'm so transparent on social media. Like I want everybody to see, oh dang, Trish got a speeding ticket. Oh my God, she got T-boned and her car flipped over. Like I want y'all to see, I go through the same things that other people go through, but I just keep going. That's the only difference. Like you just have to keep going and stay positive.
And plus, it's a great marketing strategy. Do you want to go shimmer do you want to do a pop of color since you're wearing this, or do you want to keep it neutral, do brown?
No, let's do a pop of color.
Do a pop of color?
Yeah, why not? Right. I don't know why you thought I was going to say no to that.
I know. I was just like, maybe she's telling me she's wearing green because she wants green.
I'm wearing it because I'm open to whatever.
No, that's what's up. Okay, so I'm going to just prep the eye and leave it because my thought process, is this how you work too? Like a creative mind? Like we just kind of go and kind of...
just go,
Yeah, because I have no idea what I'm doing with your eye. But I'm just going to keep doing your face till
it's done.
The vision will come.
Oh, but I'm also on the board of directors for Operation Kid Forward, and I think that's probably like the most exciting thing that I'm a part of right now because I love them because of their mission. You know, we're talking about like if kids can't see it, they don't feel like they can achieve it. So with Operation Kid Forward, they give underprivileged and at-risk youth transformative experiences and gifts. But when they say transformative experiences, like they have sent teenagers to flight school. They allow them to sit in the cockpit and learn to fly like with a pilot. They send them to schools where they have 18-wheeler operators, and they learn like operation of those types of vehicles. So they literally put them in these careers that could take them anywhere. Yeah. And I love that the most about them, because I really do feel like if a kid can't see it, they can't dream about it to achieve it. So I'm really, really adamant about being a good example for kids and showing kids like what's possible. That's why I want to travel with my kids, because I don't want them to be like in a situation where someone's like, oh, I can take you on this trip and I can take you on that trip, and I want my kids to be like, I've already been there. Right. That doesn't impress me. I can go there on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
Or be like, I guess just the same thing you just said, because like that's definitely a thing where like my oldest, I felt like there was a period of time where I was concerned about like her just being so friendly and just being like nervous, because I mean I was like not mean-spirited, but I had to have a backbone real early, and I guess because she's had a different life than me, she's just so sweet and just like that naive childlike thing, and it is so scary to watch like just from the outside. I'm like, whoa, like, but what do you do like if something bad happens, or like bullies or this, that, and the third, because she goes to public school. And like, so I've asked her like multiple times like what she would do in like this kind of scenario, that or the third, and I love that you said, just making sure that you are the first experience they have with certain things, because people really, you ever sit and think back of like the things you were impressed with when you were younger?
Yes, I do, and I was. Yeah.
Or the people you entertained. It's just like, good Lord.
I had no business giving them my energy. Yes.
Yeah, like you have nothing going on for yourself. No vision.
And I'm pressed because of what? Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Like, it really is embarrassing when you just think about it. But, yeah, you got to see it to believe it. So.
You're absolutely right.
So what do you have in the pipelines, if there's anything you would like to?
Let's see. What's today?
Monday,
the 18th of March. We've got we've got the presidential election certification today. Then we have local elections in May. I'll be working for that. And then Juneteenth, I'll be working at Pooler Juneteenth Festival.
Is that going to be like a parade?
I don't think we're at parade level yet. It's only this will be our third year. But, yeah, so it's a lot going on.
How do you get into politics?
They were taking too long. So I was like, I'll just do it myself. But really it started with, I wasn't sure if I was going to do the Board of Elections or if I was going to do school board, because I was annoyed by there not being enough schools in Pooler for the kids, and I'm annoyed by this lottery system when everyone should be entitled to a great education, not just because of a lottery and chance. But once I decided, okay, I need to get involved in politics, I felt like there were other obstacles before I could even get people to vote for me, and one of the biggest ones for me was here in Pooler. We don't have any early voting locations. It's a whole entire city with nowhere to vote before the election day. You have to drive to Savannah. Well, Pooler also refuses to in-state public transit. So if I live in Pooler and I don't have a car and I got to work on election day, I don't get to vote.
Right.
So there are obstacles that I felt like needed to be addressed before I go and try to address the school system. So I said, okay, I'll run for Board of Elections first. Online applications for poll workers weren't a thing. We have those now. And I just felt like nobody knew what the Board of Elections did. Like, nobody knows like what purpose.
Yeah, because I'm not really sure.
Yeah. And so I felt like education and increased access to voting needed to be improved before I go improve other stuff.
Right.
And I feel like I'm getting there. We are in talks about adding early voting locations. We have online applications for poll workers now. So hopefully this will be the first year where we don't have a poll worker shortage, because now anybody can apply online.
Right. So do they have to be Pooler residents to apply online, or
they have to be residents of Chatham County, but not necessarily in Pooler?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can live anywhere in Chatham County and be a poll worker now, and then they can just assign you come election day. But yeah.
Do you feel like, all right, for one, can you explain what the Board of Elections is, like what y'all do?
Sure. So the Board of Elections, think of it like this. So there's the Board of Registrars. They handle anything that is early voting or leading up to voting. So early voting locations, that's them. But the Board of Elections, we're educating you on polling locations for the day of election. We certify the election results. If there are complaints or concerns when you go to vote on election day, that stuff comes to us. And there's always the My Voter page if you don't know where you should vote or if you don't know if you're registered to vote, but we can also help you out
just
there
make
too.
Sure. Okay. Do you feel like it was hard getting in that space? You mentioned earlier that you were the first black, the youngest black. Yeah. Was it hard?
It was. I would have anticipated having more support than what I had. So when I ran, the woman that I ran against was a born and raised Savannah native. She had actually ran for the seat and lost. But the man that won the seat, he vacated it so he could run for another office. And then they appointed her to the seat. So essentially the county voted and said, we don't want her, and then they got her anyway. So
That's crazy.
Right. So I felt like going in, I was like, okay, well this should be okay because they know they didn't want that person. From what I had seen, there were still opportunities with her leadership in the role. And so I'm going to be honest, I said I'm going to do it and I never really looked back. I didn't have any doubts. I just was like, yeah, I'm new to politics, but this is for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you feel like since you've been in it, you have seen changes and stuff that weren't happening before you got in it. I mean, it takes people to step up to make change. And I feel like from a person, an outsider looking in that's not from this country, I see a lot of people complaining about, oh, this is unfair, that's unfair, or this and the third. But like, I feel like we live in a time where people complain so much and do so little.
They do.
I'm like, good Lord, if you don't have a solution for it, I don't even want to hear about it.
And I was honestly expecting her to be more receptive because I was new and young, and she made me feel like a little girl, and that gave me more fire.
She sunned you.
Yeah, she definitely sunned me.
I hate that whole prude energy.
Yeah, I was really taken aback by our interaction because I was just calling her to let her know that I was running and I was going to be running for the seat that she was occupying. I didn't expect her to be my best friend, but I didn't expect what I got either.
Like, best of luck or this.
Right, like, well, good luck if you think that this is a job for you. But that's not what I got.
Damn.
It was more of a how dare you. Yeah.
She was like, you little gosh. See, it's so crazy too, like behind the scenes when you work with people who are deemed to be professional or just looked at so highly by people, and then you uncover the truth of what their behavior is.
I was just like, you know, if you're already in that role, why not like uplift or give me some resources or say, you know, this is going to be difficult for you, but here's somebody that you might want to talk to. I mean, I would never. If somebody contacts me and says, hey, Latricia, I'm glad, I know you're on Board of Elections, but I'm running for your seat, they're literally going to get okay, if you think you can do a better job than me, then go for it.
Right.
Like,
I
want somebody that can do it.
To get actual community, like, uplifting.
And education for the community about, again, the Board of Elections. But I think that with almost all roles of government, people need education, especially local government, because people will vote for the county commissioner and don't even know what the role does. Don't even know if the person is, you know, educated enough for the role, but because your grandma voted for him and your dad said vote for him, you're gonna vote for him too, and that kills me. I don't want my kids to vote for me because I'm their mom. I would want them to vote for me because they think that
good policies
I'm good policies. And I did have to declare Democrat to run for the seat, but I run, like, I vote based on principles. So to me, it's not about what party, it's what's most beneficial for my family and my kids.
Yeah, like Jamaica, they have basically just two main political groups, right? And it is definitely infuriating too, in the same way where, like, you have those die-hearted people who for just generations, this entire community, they just typically vote this way. And it really is frustrating, especially when people, like I said again, like, complain so much
and do
it's like
so little.
A lot of power to just inflict change, But I don't know.
It's so infuriating, and I hear so many guys, and I talk to a lot of guys. I'm young, you know, I go out, and it's, I don't vote. Voting's not real. Voting doesn't work. And I'm the direct result of voting working. Like, you can't tell me that it doesn't work because I made it work for me. Right. So, how hard are you working? Or if you don't think it works, then why aren't you running for the seat? That person is corrupt. You know they did this, this, and that. Why aren't you running for that seat? I mean, and there were so many seats this year too that are running unopposed. So the people will win.
They just got it. Wow.
Yes. Damn. Exactly. So if you knew it was that easy, why wouldn't you? Just get in the seat and then just sit in it. And that's what happens. They're complacent and nobody's holding them accountable.
Right. Because the people aren't even paying attention.
They're not. They don't pay attention until they get hit with more higher taxes or their property values increase or decrease.
Gas prices go up. And
they don't care until they're mad. And to be fair, I didn't care about voting until I couldn't get it done. So I voted, but I always felt like voting was a tool for me. I never felt like voting doesn't work.
Right.
And I just can't believe how many people just here in Savannah are so jaded, and I'm sure that's reflective of much of the country. But it hurts my heart when people say, "Oh, I don't vote. Oh, I don't vote. I would never vote." I can't believe it.
Yeah, I would say never say never.
Right.
I mean, that's really strong, especially if you have kids.
And I have met people that I've started talking to, and they're like, "Well, now that I talk to you, I'll probably vote now."
Yeah.
Or like even with TikTok. Nobody knew that Congress was voting to ban TikTok and that they had 6 months to sell it. But now that it's affecting people's social media and their content that they're getting paid for, now, oh, well, the Democrats are bad. Guess what? The Republicans are the people that wrote the bill and approved it.
Right.
But we want to shit on Democrats. The Democrats didn't do anything. The Republicans did it.
Listen, honestly, from what I've seen with politics, just everywhere in general, a lot of times it's the same shit on both sides.
It is.
It really just is a matter of like power moves. Like if I step over here, I will move up a level. If over here, I'll probably never get a chance to sit in the seat. If I go over here, then I can do that. Because a lot of those people that they think stand by the policies that are like primarily left or right, I guarantee you, if the right opportunity comes on the other side, they're gonna jump ship so fast.
Yeah.
So it really is just like, come on, man. Like, you gotta know this is bullshit.
And even like right down to the colors, people don't even realize that Republicans used to be blue and Democrats were red. It didn't change until the 50s and 60s due to color television. So if you go back down and look at the line of the Bushes family, at one point they were blue. Now they're red.
Oh, wow.
But it's just because of TV.
Right.
So, like, people have allegiances to things they don't even understand.
Yeah. And people, oh my gosh, like, you can look at businesses like Clinique and so on to see that
things change all the time.
Die hard by something, they don't try nothing else. Like, they really just kind of stick to it.
And that's, to me, that's a level of ignorance.
It is. It is, because it's just like you found something that works, and you're just like, you know, it's that extreme version of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. When the other thing could be better for you.
Right. Like, you're not even looking for a better, the best option here. You're just looking for an option that works
you're comfortable
and that's
with.
Convenient enough.
Convenient, exactly.
People are just lazy. That's the bottom line. It really is. And that's also why they don't get educate themselves on this stuff, because even if, let's say, a board of elections did not exist and you feel like, well, I don't even know what I'm voting for, I'm sure this is something you could look up. You know what I mean? So if you don't know and you want to know, go find the information.
Yes. There was so much I had no idea about, and there's so much I still don't have any idea about, but I'm learning, and I'm willing to get it wrong so that I know how to do it right.
Right. And I mean, everything's a learning experience. It's the way you look at things, like outlook. So I mean, you can't be great at every single thing
as much as we want to.
Yeah. And I mean, losing is a part of the journey, and I don't even consider things to be like a loss.
I don't either. Be like, okay, what's like, if my next election year, I think is 2026, if it comes up and somebody else gets a seat, I'm not gonna stop. I was doing the work before I got the seat, so the seat is not what's going to define me as a community leader. It's my work in the community that will define me as a community leader.
And I think, honestly, your hand is in so many things. It would be hard to deny that you don't have impact.
Oh, that makes me feel so good.
Yeah. Because I feel like you are directly related to so many things. You know what I mean? Like people would really be just miserable, I feel like, to be like, oh yeah, Trish, she can't do that. I'm like, but she is though. Like, she's done so much.
That's true. It is hard to say, like, yeah, she does.
Right, be like, girl, like, are you on crack? Like, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. And I won't say that, like, is there eyelash on this eye? It feels like it's doing something.
It's doing something.
Like,
you don't want it to do. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of your lashes was pointing directly down.
Okay.
Coming for you.
Yeah.
Your jugular.
Is there anything at the bottom?
Does it feel better?
Feels a little better. Feels like there's something at the bottom in the corner. Outer corner. That feels better. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go into SCAD. So, you said you had to walk me through the entire, like you said, you had to do...
Yeah, so I remember writing an essay, have a portfolio, and I remember waiting. But then I also remember getting my acceptance letter.
Did you cry? I'm sure you did.
I don't think I cried. Because so back then, I didn't even really want to go to college. I was like, I'm going to just do my own thing. So my mom was like...
Your mom wanted you to go?
She was like... Absolutely not. You're going to get a degree from somewhere, even if it's in drawing. And
not drawing.
Yeah. I mean, there are drawing majors, but she was like, you're going to do something that says you know something.
Right.
So I really didn't want to go. And I even actually didn't start in the fall. She was like, well, when are you going to go? And I said, I guess I'll start in the winter. So to me, that was a bad decision because...
Starting in the winter?
Everybody starting in the fall makes their... new friends, and like you go to those mixers and you meet everybody's new at the same time. Well, when you come in the winter, they've already established their relationships exactly. So I'm like the new kid on the block trying to fit in where I get in, and I didn't really fit in anywhere, which is funny because it's an art school. You would think you see your crowd and you join in, but it was just more of what I left, only on an artistic scale. But I loved my time at SCAD. I did intern my sophomore year, but at the time they didn't give credit unless you were a junior or a senior, and it was my internship for W Magazine, and I was like, I'm not going to walk away from this just because y'all don't want to give me credit. I just said I'll be back next year. Yeah, so I interned in New York for 8 months, and that's when I met Derek Roche, who at the time, and still is, the personal stylist of P. Diddy, and we were both working in the W Magazine accessories closet. He suggested I come work for him, and I didn't believe him because I'm from Georgia. I know y'all hear my country accent. I'm thinking he's trying to con me. But he was like, no, come work with me, and he sent me a contract and everything, and there was a $6 million NDA, so like I couldn't disclose anything that happened while I was there. But it was a real deal. Like, I was there, and I remember Diddy asking me for my opinion, and after everybody else said it was good, I'm like, well, I don't really like the tie.
And then
he did. He was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. She's going to give me her real opinion. And he took the fucking tie off. I've never felt bigger in my whole life.
Of course, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so that was my relationship, and then he invited me to come back for their... Diddy's If I Were King fashion show for Sean John, and I was the lead intern, just directing all the other interns for the show. Then they offered me a job, but I was like, nope, I have my own path. I wanted to start my own business.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just kept in contact. And Derek and I messaged on Instagram. Yeah. So I just don't burn the bridges that you need is what I would say.
But okay, so first of all, for you to have all these incredible experiences just like so early, just like right out the gate, I feel like that's just confirmation that you're doing exactly what you should be doing because, hello?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is insane just even hearing you say just how easily these things came. Like, it
didn't feel easy at the time. Because SCAD was brutal. I don't think it's as brutal as when I was there because like now I believe fashion majors, you can pay people to construct your collections. That shit was not allowed when I was there. Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine.
Like, I've actually had people reach out to me to help them construct their collections this year, last year, and I just declined because I feel like you need to be able to do it on your own.
Right.
If you could just pay somebody to do everything, then you're not really learning it. You're learning how to outsource it.
Right. And I mean, I feel like as it's such a person who came in the game so early, it's like a respect for the craft.
Right. And so, like, I know it wasn't allowed when I was there.
Right.
I'm not down with the cruises there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, even when I got that internship to go to New York, it started as an assignment. And I was critiquing John Galliano and Proenza Schuler fashion shows, and then they sent my articles to W Magazine, and they were like, "Oh, she needs to come work here."
Right, like if she thinks that, let's see what she could do.
Yeah, so it was.
Well, I love that.
I will say it was pretty awesome, like right out of the gate, and it really hasn't stopped being awesome. It slowed down when I didn't believe in myself to start my business early enough, but when I did, it picked right the hell back up.
So, like, some tips or like advice for really just putting yourself out there, marketing, and just
look at the same thing for too long.
And I think as an artist, we always do that because that's how I feel every time. Like, I just rebrand my kit and I just open it and look at it and I'm like,
and I wanted something that was reflective of me now. When I first painted it, purple was my favorite color. It had like horizontal stripes. I don't know if you remember it. Yeah, it had purple and silver.
And like black and white stripes, right? Or something like
purple. Yeah, purple, silver, and white and black. And I was just like, I wanted to be a little bit more sleeker and just get to be more polished. So that's the direction I'm heading now. So black and gold is the theme.
I love it. Black is my favorite color, if you didn't know. My daughter says that's not a color.
It's devoid of color.
I was like, well, it's my favorite. And I don't know, I feel like everything looks better in black. But
most things do.
It's just, I guess it's just me. Even photos, I love black and white. Once you hit that black and white,
it's beautiful,
black and white. And I'm like, oh my God,
black and white.
It hits every time, man. The blacks just make it so
You're not wrong. Shadows do make things like more dramatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I guess because I do things from also from the experience of knowing what things look like post photo from the editing side. I do think about, okay, like, if this contour is this strong in person, I promise you, when this photographer goes and boosts up those shadows, this shit is gonna look crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that for me I definitely look at now from a beauty aspect, because you also host your own fashion shows. What are some things that you look for when like working with other professionals?
Other professionals. What kind of professionals?
So let's say beauty professionals.
Okay.
Like looking to hire a hairstylist or a makeup artist.
You have got to be a good communicator. If I can't reach you, or I can't like find your work to show somebody else that they should trust you too, I can't even work with you. Because we live in a society today, you have to have an online presence. Right. Even if it's just like a simple website where it's just you, your bio, and 3 pictures. You have to have something that shows people you're not just some scam artist. Right. I mean, there are so many scam artists out there that look professional that you've got to make sure that you have what it takes to look like you're reputable. So I only like to work with people that are on time, that communicate well.
Like a website or something?
Yeah, a website for sure. Or at least, at minimum, an Instagram with your images of work. If you don't have that, you're not ready to talk to me.
Really?
Because I really do work with, like I work with you, and now, I don't know if you have heard of him, so Jason Michelot Johnson is a photographer that I recently connected with, and he has so many pieces. And the part that's most impressive for me, because I was like, wait, why are you talking to me? He has over 50 pieces in the permanent collection at the Smithsonian African American Museum of History.
So he's an artist.
He's an artist whose medium is photography.
Wow.
Yeah, and he did the photography for Savannah State for a while, but like that's his most notable contribution. And so when you have people like
that,
no. But when you have people like that are like, I want to work with you, then that means everybody else I'm working with, you got to step it up too. Like, he doesn't work with models with tattoos that are bigger than 3 inches. Because he's like, even if I edit it in photos, like it's never gonna look as clean as I want it to, because I'm gonna know I had to edit it.
Right.
So I feel once you start working with higher caliber artists, it also just forces you to take your game up. So
exactly.
Now that's why, like, if you don't have Instagram, I can't work with you, because he's gonna want to see what your capabilities are, and I'm not gonna embarrass myself going to him
or vouch for you based off of what I don't know, and then you embarrass us about.
And then he'll never want to work with me again, or he won't take me seriously because I didn't vet the other people that we were gonna work with. So it's so funny to me, because sometimes, like, I'm helping with a show, and like I've walked into places and people were like, "Oh, you better move. That's Trisha's feet," and I'm like, it's never that serious for me, but I love that is like how other people want to move around me.
Because when you're in work mode, like that day that the star.
Oh,
one of my artists is in the bathroom crying.
Why?
But she deserved that. Honestly.
Why was she crying? What did I say?
Bad. It wasn't you. It was she was completely just unprepared. It was just a hot ass mess. I was so pissed. But see, that's why I'm glad I run things the way I do, because I'm always prepared to step in if need be and just be like, it's okay. You just do this.
Go do what you gotta do. I'll take over.
Because right now
you're slowing down.
We're gonna have to redo things, and we don't have time for that. So we're gonna just shift you into a different position where you could be very, like,
you could be helpful.
Right, you could help better there. Like, and if you want to help, and your goal is not about being seen or being noticed as, oh, this is my stuff, but being a part of putting this together.
Thank you. That is my thing when I do shows. If one person looks silly, we all just made ourselves silly.
So
I want everybody to look
beneficial.
Good. Yes.
Like, but everybody wants to be the face.
But that's also why I am the way I am, because if one thing is off, I'm going to catch it so that we all can fix it and we can all be on one accord.
And so that's what happened then, and she was just so stressed out. She just basically, I don't know if it was a confidence thing, but she came in like as a white artist, and granted, the models were definitely like skeptical. They were like, ugh, I don't know. I mean, that's when you show out, though.
Yeah.
The first person she did, I was looking like, are you going to fix that? And she was like, don't worry, it all comes together at the end of the night, bro. These girls are going to roast you and put your head on a spike.
And I don't know if you saw me, because I do remember now, because I was going like, no, she needs more blush.
Yes.
No, we need more. More.
And you were definitely like on like boss mode, so I think she just, I don't know if it was her first fashion show. No, you need that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, because that's what I'm used to. Like, when I was running the show for P. Diddy, like, that's what it was. It's like, you got to do the job.
And that's the thing. If you want to be in the space, you got to realize this is what the space is.
I'm talking about the work. Yeah.
And anywhere else that they go, the fashion industry is brutal.
It is.
They'll tell you straight up, take that off. Like, do you not see American Next Top Model? They completely shave off people's heads.
Yes.
Like, you don't look good like this, but
we can fix it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think all those things should prepare people to know if you want to be in the creative space, it's not a typical job.
It's not a warm and fuzzy job. We can have drinks when it's over.
Exactly.
But when we're doing it, you got to be honest.
It's funny, we actually did have drinks after that. And
oh, y'all did?
Yes. Afterwards, I took her downstairs in the same place they had at the bar. And I got her a drink before we came down to your thing. And I was like, look, I'm so sorry you cried. But it was nothing personal. When it's work time, and people are really serious.
Like, it's really not personal. I don't even remember like who did what face. I just remember looking, and I'm like, I want more blush. Yeah.
And I mean, what people don't understand too, when it's something like a fashion show, that is somebody's creative vision. It's not a place where you input your opinion on like, well, I feel like this is what we should do, or this, that, or the third. You ask for an overall direction, and then once the person in charge says, this is the look that I want, if she says, I want everybody to have a bold green liner, you don't say, no, I don't think
I don't think that's gonna look good. You say, yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
And you give me a bold green liner.
And you make it look good. You probably can put your own little pop to it. But,
but at the end, it needs to meet the brief.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if your goal is to really excel in that space, nobody's gonna hire an artist who just
can't take direction.
Right.
And the part of it for me too was because I knew that when they went outside, the lighting was going to be very, very, it's going to wash them out. So I knew the makeup needed to be very saturated because when they go out there and it's nighttime, because the lights are so bright, it needed to still read. So, yeah.
In general, like, makeup for fashion shows or just any type of stage presence is like a lot
more dramatic. Yeah.
So I just think that was like a reality call for her, which I still think is a positive.
Yeah, because it's still a learning experience.
Right. I'm sure she will not be alarmed by the same experience. Well, she shouldn't be, because that would mean she's not learning anything.
Right.
I mean, if she ended up in a similar situation, I think she should be like, oh yeah, I've been here before, and we're just going to keep it pushing. Nothing personal. We're just going to, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that she cried, though.
Yeah, I was so aggravated. I felt bad. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't know, because tears the day of an event usually just annoys me more.
That's why, like, on the day of, I was really aggravated. But that's why I said afterwards, I was like, all right, like, what are you drinking?
Me
like,
too. And I have to even catch myself with my kids, because for me, it'll be like, oh, the peanut butter fell on the table, and my 11-year-old's crying, and I'm like, why are you crying? Just clean the peanut butter.
I feel you. Like, kids really are dramatic. And I can see with my daughter when it's building up, like,
me too, because like her voice,
she stands up still, and then it starts welling up in her eye. I'm like, oh my god, you were so extra. Like, what are you crying about? Oh my gosh. I don't know. They got a lot more emotions than I know.
They sure do.
But see, that's the same thing. I guess I feel like with me, even people. I guess even Deontay has told me that when I'm working, I kind of talk to people a little strong.
Yeah, my husband's told me too. And I'm just like, well, if they didn't want to be around me, they wouldn't work with me.
And I mean, I feel like working with people like that, you kind of do appreciate, like, people who just, if you know what the vision is and you're just not taking
you know that where she's trying to get it to a certain point. Yeah.
And I mean, I guess also as a female, I'm not sure if this is your experience, I feel like if you're not a little strong sometimes, people just hear what you say and assume,
and do
like,
what the fuck they want.
Yeah, like they just assume it's up for negotiation, or
girl,
they can just, I don't know, interpret how they feel like. And
you
I'm
know,
like,
that is the story of my life. And I actually had a guy, and like, shout out to him, because guys, I think they're just intimidated by me. They won't give me the feedback, but he's like, you know, we're friends, but you can be a little like rough around the edges and very aggressive sometimes. And I was like, okay, but and it does come from a place of people taking advantage of me. You know, I'm short, I'm a petite person, I don't look like I got a bite, right? And so I do find myself feeling like I gotta enter, like,
just let it be known.
Like when I walk in, sit up straight, like to like set that precedent so that I don't gotta correct y'all down the line.
Right? Yeah. Oh no, I'm nice, but
right.
But if you know from the beginning and then you realize I'm actually sweet, then you might
not. We don't ever have to go there. Yeah. So that's where I come from. I still took the feedback. It was really like 2 days ago, but but I just am like, that must be it. It must be why guys don't ever like go. No one debates with me, like, which I actually like having thoughtful discussions and change my mind if you can.
Right.
But
that means you have to be sure about what you're telling me, though,
and you got to be able to back it up. Yeah.
Because I'm
certainly
personality.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
Like my nicknames in life have been Bulldog and Chihuahua, and those are both creatures that like once they latch on to something, they're not gonna let it go, and that is 100% me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh. So, your husband sounds like, what's the experience now? Because he full time like helps you with everything, right? Like he's like your
he pays
number one.
The bills at the house, and I take care of my studio. But yeah, he supports me wholeheartedly now. Like if I need a little extra for rent 1 month, if I'm short, then he's like, "Yep, we got it." He's always my supporter. And I think that my kids, even seeing him like support, he'll come in here and like seam dresses for me, and like he's the best. He really is. I would not have this without him. Thank you. It's just because we have so many kids and I'm so busy, you never really get to see pictures of him. He's definitely my behind the scenes.
I feel like I know that because I've worked events with you, and he's
there. Yeah, he's always there.
Yeah, he is, and I love that though, because especially from a man, it takes a certain man to have a strong woman, because just ego really could get in the way of that, and people giving input on what they perceive.
We hear it nonstop, like gender roles, like, oh, well, who does all the laundry? Who cooks the meals? Well, I'm never freaking home, so who do y'all think? It's him, but we don't get a complex about it.
All right.
And then when I'm free and I can, guess who do y'all think twists London's hair? Who do you think braids Adonis's hair?
But he has hair. That's why I'm like, why are people so alarmed?
Yeah, like
it's a head full of hair.
It's crazy. The things, I think that it really helped us. We've never been like the typical couple, like as far as gender norms. But I think that never really caring if we fit in a box helps us both as well, because it just never really fazed us. What other people do is nothing. We're not concerned at all.
And like your friend group, I mean, how did you meet Nisha?
So believe it or not, I met her on Facebook. She was doing a prom dress giveaway with 9 Line, and I was like, oh, that looks awesome. Those girls are probably gonna need alterations. I messaged her and I was like, hey, I'll do free alterations for the girls that get prom dresses. She's like, yeah, come on out. I went out there, and that night, it actually was her birthday. After the event was over, she invited me to go hang out with her and some friends for her birthday, and we've been rocking 8 years now. Ever since. But yeah, we met on Facebook. I've met so many people on Facebook.
See, but that's good, because a lot of times when you meet people that you know online, you meet them in person, and they're just like not at all what you thought they would be. I think you're gonna love this look.
Sure, I will. I'm wear a size better, but mine is winner takes all. When they're in the stadium.
Yeah, that I'm not gonna lie. Deontay and the kids were watching that the other day, and I was like, God, I forgot how good this is. It makes me want to binge SpongeBob.
I love it. Is he over there snapping it? I love me some SpongeBob.
It's so one of those feel good soul.
It is. It takes me back.
Yeah. My mom, I think, used to be annoyed with me watching it, because I guess that the feeling my mom had is the feeling I have now with my kids watching.
Like, oh, that's not appropriate.
YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
God, I'd be like, what are these kids even doing or talking about?
Absolutely me too. Like, nothing. So you're just watching her play with slime,
right?
I couldn't tell you.
I swear, it's so dumb to me. And I'll be like, go watch something else. It's so funny.
I get so I'm like, y'all need to go outside and play. Go do some real activities.
It's so funny because, like, I will constantly say that they're watching foolishness. I remember one day, like, my youngest, I'd be like, what are you watching? She'd say, foolishness.
Well, just so you know, it's foolishness, Mom.
Right.
And now go away.
I was like, I'm glad you know. No, turn it off. Go watch something else, or go play, or do something that stimulates your brain, because I just you just whispering away right now.
And you know, I didn't realize how good physical activity was for their mental health, because I was watching a video that talks about how, like, anxiety and stress and how your brain works. And it's like, okay, well, if you never have any physical activity, your body releases cortisol when you have anxiety, because that is a form of stress. Well, cortisol increases weight gain. And so, well, if you're out there running, your body has raised your heart rate, and your body's like, oh, we had a stressor, we're good now. It'll release the cortisol based off of that stress instead of your anxiety. And basically, it's much better for your mental health if you just get some physical activity.
That makes sense why people say when you work out,
you feel better.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's really good to know, because it's been on my to-do list for this year to start working out.
And it doesn't help that I'm just like naturally skinny, so I'm like, I'll do it.
And honestly, just me changing my diet since the start of the year, I've lost weight. Like, that extra pudginess, like, in my stomach.
Girl, what extra?
No, because, you know, like, for example, like,
we have, like, our soft gut, like, from having kids.
Right, there's that. And then, like, I used to, when I was, like, going out all the time to drink, I was,
you do get a little gut.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that until, like, I kind of, like,
cut back.
Yeah. And then I just noticed, like, dang, like, my stomach be looking flat, like, even without me doing shit, which is not good, because then it encourages me
to not do anything, right? It's like, oh, if I don't get a drink, I can be snatched.
Right, I'll just keep doing this, because I'm not trying to lose too much now.
That's my thing. I'm trying to gain. Like, I would love some curves.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of.
Well, maybe this time, if she gives you the money for some type of.
Yeah, now this time. Well, I said, I'll do it for my 5-year anniversary, which will be 2020. Well, it's September of this year.
Girl, so you start looking up some people.
Yeah.
Did you do something local, or have you had doctors that you looked into?
I only had one doctor, so I went to 2 here. I only had one that I was like, okay, he could do it, but I want to be like good. You know, I'm light skinned, scars are gonna show. I need to look I need to look better than I go in there, and not just not just bigger boobs. Right? I don't want these scars, all of that.
Is that the only thing you want, like a boob job?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been, my butt, in my opinion, is okay. I never wanted like a BBL or anything. No. I don't think that would be a good look for me.
No, you should be so shocked.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? Is this a
where is my wife? Right.
Because how long have y'all been together?
Ooh, 18 years now.
That is crazy. Like, when you and Nisha both celebrated your anniversaries this year and y'all posted the number, I was like, first of all,
when did y'all get together?
Yes. And I'm like, I just can't imagine either of the two of you being old enough to be married that long.
Yeah. Well, we've been married 14 and together 18. He got me right when I started college and locked me down, and then we didn't get married until after. Right? Yeah, he was very smart.
She's onto something.
Yeah, he was like, let me get you right. Let me get you before anybody else can.
Smart guy. He's always been a winner.
He's smart, very smart guy.
Oh, yeah, I love that for him. Well deserved, because he is awesome.
And he's good, because like I've never been like super... like superficial. I love nice things if it comes my way, but I've never been if you don't have this, then you can't afford me or anything. But like, he's always like still getting me things, so I know I'm appreciated, but he knows that that's not like my real love language is acts of service. So when you come in here and you sweep or you paint a wall,
that's me.
It's on.
That's me. When I see you cleaning up or doing like, oh, what's on your to-do list, or you're just like just hopping in my to-do stuff and just helping me out, boy, that's the way.
Yes. Or like he's at home now with all the kids because they're out of school,
right,
taking care of breakfast and lunch and dinner. That is amazing.
Yeah, because you really can't find that.
I know. That's why I don't desire to date anything that's out there right now, because the society has changed so much.
And these guys really just want to be females, and I'm like,
do. And what I can't get past, and I won't even say they want to be females, but they want us to go to work and then come home and clean and take care of the kids and cook all the meals.
They want their cake and eat it too.
Right, and I'm like, when are we allowed to be tired?
Never.
When are we allowed to rest? I can't get behind that.
See, I feel like a lot of males too, though, they grow up seeing their moms as like superheroes, and they forget
they're supposed to be fucking helping.
All right, I'm like, even though your mom did that, I'm sure if she had a choice, she would not want that.
Yes, and my mom already knows it too, because she tells me and my sister all the time, like, I'm so sorry, you guys, because I grew up with my mom having 3 jobs and my dad had 1. And then my mom would still cook all the meals. Like, she was a superwoman. And I distinctly recall having a conversation with her when I left and went to SCAD and I got engaged, and she was like, you can get married, but you don't need to be doing everything in your household. She was like, I know that's all you've seen. That's not how it should be. And so I made sure that he knew that's not how reality is going to be. Right. And so we just had a really good understanding of how we wanted to run our household together.
And see, that's so key, because like Deontay and I too, when we met initially, right away, like we met on the Greyhound bus, and on the bus, I talked to him and I was like, yeah, like I'm not this type of person, this, that, and the third. I feel like there's not anything that he could say like, oh, I really thought you were gonna be.
Yeah, like no, you gave it to him right out the gate.
I made it very clear. I'm not a stay-at-home type. Like, I would be miserable.
I would be too.
If I had to look up, I think I'm really meant to just be a workaholic. And it sucks. Like, well, it doesn't suck, but like, I do want to create balance, but I do genuinely enjoy doing a lot.
Yeah.
Makes me feel good.
Me too, because I feel like I'm wasting my energy if I have it and I'm not using it. So, but I still have had to find balance, because that doesn't mean I'm allowed to work 24 hours until I burn myself out, but it means that I work and don't feel guilty about taking breaks.
Yeah, because you definitely do give off like work hard, play harder.
Oh yeah, I play really hard when it's time to play.
And truthfully, like a lot of the events that I've seen that you do, it looks like good events where you can do both, like at the same time.
99% of the time when I go out, I'm still networking, and I'm still with somebody that's gonna be an acquaintance for something else. So,
or the galas that y'all do.
Exactly. Oh, all of that is fundraising and networking. I look like fun, but that's because I'm about to ask you for $2,000 for these kids.
Be like, so how's it going? Da, 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 da. And just like, okay, so what do you do? Okay, sounds like you.
Oh, you're a doctor? Take our card. Yeah. You have an office? Take our card. Yeah.
Girl, yes. My daughter is the reason why I actually made the decision to quit my job and just go like full force in this, because like last year when I was going to school and like working and we had just moved and I just felt like I just needed to do so much. So I was like working all the time. Plus I'm from a family of women who really work.
Yeah, I know y'all do. Everybody knows Jamaicans do.
So boy, I was just so used to it, and God, it got to a point where she kept saying like I'm not ever there or this or that, and I realized like Deontay and her, like, you know, they do all the stuff together and this and the third, and I'm like, well, this is great, but I really do feel bad. Like I felt so bad. I was like, damn, like what does this mean if I'm never here? And if she's saying, oh yeah, well, like mommy's never there, or I'm there on a random Sunday and she's like, oh, I'm so happy you're here, and I feel like, dang,
like, and I didn't know that it mattered, like, because Adonis, he does karate. But usually I'll take my iPad and I'm sketching or stuff. But, like, I'll notice, or I started to notice that, like, he be looking over at me to see if I'm watching him or if I'm doing my work. So now I don't bring my iPad anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go in there. I have my phone, but I watch him and I make sure, like, when he looks at me, I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
So he feels invested, because I remember that feeling. Like, when I was growing up, I was in gymnastics, ballet, and when I was younger, and I just remember I even did like singing. I've been like done like singing and music competitions and won. But my mom, like I said, had 3 jobs, and I distinctly remember being like, none of this matters because my mom is never here and my dad is never here. And I would have performances, and then we would skip my performance to go to my brother's football practice, which pissed me off. And that's why I stopped singing.
Really?
Because I just didn't feel like it was appreciated. Yeah. So I wanted that approval from my parents, and I never really got it until like now.
Yeah, it really is insane. And I mean, do you go to therapy? Do you believe in therapy?
I do believe in therapy. I believe I probably need a therapist, but
you would enjoy it, I feel like.
I had a so she was like my business and life coach. You might have heard of her, Victoria Baylor. She's super popular out here.
Is she here in Fuller?
Actually, yeah, she is.
Okay.
But she was my first business coach, and I had so many breakthroughs with her that I was like, oh, I'm sure I probably don't need the therapy now, because
she's just done so much work.
Yeah, like I had so many exercises with her that forced me to realize, one, okay, I struggle with low self-worth. Well, why do I struggle with low self-worth? When I was 3, my dad left, and like I distinctly recall conversations where we would call him and he would just say, well, you're not my daughter, and I don't want you, and you're not my daughter, you're not mine. And then when I got to high school, and it was like, oh, she's going to a good art school, and she's doing this.
Nowhere.
Yeah, he wanted to be at my graduation. He wanted me to call him dad. And I'm just like, nah, player, you missed that boat.
Right.
My mom still wanted us to be nice to him, which being nice to him meant calling him by his first name. And so I did that for a while, and I just realized, like, I wanted so badly to be accepted by my dad that I worked my ass off as an adult so that I can feel worthy of the recognition and worthy of attention. I think that was probably the biggest breakthrough for me, because once I realized, wait, I'm not worthless. I felt that way because I was rejected for so long at such a young age. I was able to work through so much more.
and not feel the pressure to load up your plate so much.
Just trying to get somebody else's approval. You'll never get all the approval that you want. It's, how do you feel about yourself?
That's key. So a lot of our story is so similar. It's funny. My dad was pretty similar to, we don't speak now. Like much at all. Last conversation we had, Deontay was there. I was just like, God, the nerve of this guy. But it was the same way, like in and out, to the point where, like, when he went to jail, I didn't even know he was in jail because I was so used to him just
being gone.
Being around. So he had the nerve when he came out of jail. He showed up at my school when I was in the 6th grade.
What was he doing?
It showed up at my school, like basically cursing me out that he was in jail and I never came to see him and this and the third. And I was like,
dog, I'm a whole child.
Right. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not responsible for myself and I've never been to jail.
It's on you.
Why
you should have never went to jail. How about that? Let's start there, Dad.
I was like, I've never been to.
You better be glad I wasn't his daughter.
Man, I don't even know if I told my mom that. I was like so happy to see him at my school, and he came guns blazing. I was like, whoa, Tiger,
right?
Relax.
Hold on. Who actually had the foul here?
That was really crazy. And then after that, like, there was a short period of time where, like, I felt like I was missing something, where I needed to be around him. So I spent a lot of my younger years, like, chasing him, like, literally. He lived so close to me, like, so close, walking distance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I used to walk in the sun to his house. Because I'd be like, damn, it's been a while. And to me, I felt like he was the answer to all my problems. So I was like, if I just lived with my dad, I'm sure things would be better. This or the third, because my mom was so strict. And this and the third. And I just felt like life would have been better if I lived over there. So I would just walk over there, and in my head I was like, why can't I just, like, live here? And, like, I would do that all the time, and oh my gosh, like, it would be so heartbreaking, especially now as an adult looking back. Like, every time I went there, he was, like, sitting down playing video games.
He could have been with
doing
you.
Shit.
Yeah.
Like, never actually doing something important where I'm like, he's busy.
Like, this is something keeping me from my child.
He's a doctor. He works a lot. He works long hours. Like, this man is never doing anything. And I was just like, wow, like, that's crazy. I can't believe my mom never stopped me from doing that.
Well, and see, but I give it to moms, so, because my mom sounds like she was a lot like yours, so she never kept this from him. That's why she would let us call so we could hear him tell us, those are not my kids. And, like, so part of me wishes that I would have been shielded from a little bit of it, but another part of me knows that I needed to know, that people can be, they can be trash, and we're all on our own journeys. Clearly nobody taught him how to be a good dad. So once I became an adult, I let it go to an extent. But as a kid, I'm just like, why don't you want me?
Right, but why though?
Like, what did I do to you to make you not want me as a daughter? And it got worse because he had went and had another family.
Of course. My dad's married now to some lady with 4 kids. And I'm
so like when I discovered, oh, I have other brothers and sisters too, it was a whole lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, but honestly, it teaches you so much, because, and it gives you such a backbone, because
it does.
I am a no-nonsense person when it comes to shit. Like, even when he calls, that's why I don't even talk to him now. Like, I'm like, I don't owe you any explanation for nothing.
Kind of like, what's the point?
You know who you were. You know what you've done. Like, and if you don't, I mean, pray about it, because I'm
over it. Right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to therapy myself, and I'm good. Do this. Yeah. Just, your problems are too big for me. Like, at the end of the day, I didn't have you. You had me. You brought me here, and you did not feel obligated to ensure that
I was I turned into a normal human.
Right, and that whatever you are contributing to my life is actually beneficial. So, like, I'm good, actually. So it was very disheartening, because, I mean, you do want to see the best in people, and I am like that. Deontay says I'm naive. I really do. Like, I don't know.
I do want to see the best in people, but I've had so many experiences that while I want to see the best in other people, I don't expect it. Because like, I give you the benefit of the doubt. Everybody starts like in the middle, and then your behaviors dictate which way I'm going to go with you.
I feel like, I don't know, for me, I probably give people too much of a benefit of the doubt, like an extreme version of just, why would they be an asshole? I mean, why would you be lying to me?
Well, see, and people are like, to me, people are like, why would they be an asshole? Like, why wouldn't they? It's exactly like, why?
Right.
Why not?
And that's how he looks at me. He'd be like, because people are full of shit. And I'm like, no. Surely that's
no. I'm like, everybody's trash until they show me they're not.
No, I have not developed that way yet, but I'm definitely at a point now where I have no desire to really fill my circle with anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm kind of good.
But I also feel like part of it came like going to New York. Like my first night there was such a culture shock. Like New coming Yorkers. From here, yeah.
So rude, man.
It's rude, but it's like, it's not even rude. It's like it's a way of life. Because when I got there, I'm this little Southern girl. I've been in the South my whole life. And then I will never forget my first interaction with a New York man because I was going for a job. I was like working at Target while I was interning for Diddy. Mm-hmm. And the guy that was training me, he's like, oh, are you Latricia? And I said yes. And he was like, okay, well, come. And I just stood there. And he starts walking away and he turns around. He's like, are you coming? And I said, well, no, because come is a command for dogs. Mm. So would you like me to follow you? Mm. Then you can ask me to follow you. And he was like, okay, well, follow me. Mm. Like, yes, they're mean, but also if you show them you're not going to take shit, then you're in there with them a certain way. I still cried when I got home that night, but nobody saw it. It's my whole thing. And that I was going to mention that, like, when we were talking about like work ethic and stuff, because I be getting emotional and I'm nervous when I go and speak in front of crowds and I'm nervous when I'm campaigning, but nobody is going to know that except my inner circle while I'm behind the scenes. Because when I pop out on the scene, it's going to be like, oh, Trisha's so great. I never knew that she was nervous. And I didn't know that her hands were shaking. And meanwhile, like, I be, oh my God, I be a ball of nerves. If people only knew. Yeah, but I've got that feedback actually the night of the Brightside Bazaar. Donovan, who was the guy that drove all the models back and forth, he was like, yo, like, you were emotionless. When stuff was going wrong, you were just like, okay, what's next? But move on. He was like, you didn't let anything slow you down. He was like, that shit is dope.
And you just like, stepped out there. Like, you literally, I think you came out dancing or you came out like this. Like, oh my God.
I think I did. I did.
Something. I was like, God, I just love the way you move. Boy, I had such a blast.
Good. I want people to have a blast. Like, it's work, but I want us to have a good time while we're doing it.
And I love that everything that you do has, like, a purpose. You're always a part of, it seems like a lot of things that work with children. Yeah. Is it because of your childhood?
Yeah, I do, because it was hard growing up. I don't think that we were I know we weren't. I know we weren't as poor as, like, some people have it, but, like, we were definitely eating beans and franks, and my mom wouldn't have had 3 jobs for no reason. It was tough, but I feel like I want kids to, like, they didn't ask to be here. They should not want for a meal. They should not need shoes. They should not need somebody to put them in a lottery program so they can get a good education, like, or else you're gonna go to this shitty school. That shit is not okay. It's not fair.
I agree.
It makes me so angry. So we did it before, and she was like the 18th, and now she's like I said, she's the 5th this year. And I think the year that she was like 18th on the list, she moved up to like the 7th place. Okay. So the spots do open up. You know, it's a lot of military people move out of their homes. They're not zoned. So for her to be number 5 and for this place for the 6th grade, I'm sorry, for the 7th grade, I think she'll get in by August.
I'm hopeful too, and I'm excited to watch her journey because I like seeing like her gymnastic recitals. Oh my gosh, she reminds me of you a lot.
She reminds me of me too.
She walks.
But my thing is, I don't want her to get caught up in the I'm just like shoes. Mommy. Yeah, because you know, for me, I'm like, anybody can do this. This is normal. This is regular. But I hear from other people like you or even my kids, they're like, Mommy, people do not go to Galos that often. People do not. They're not. None of my friends' parents are elected officials. With Diddy. Yeah.
Like as a
fresh person
Right.
at the age that you did.
Yeah, like when I hear it from my kids and like my friends that are like meeting me now as an adult, it's not ordinary. So I don't want her to feel like, oh, if I don't do what mom does, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Because that's exactly why I'm the way I am with my mom. Well, my mom had 3 jobs and she did it with 3 kids. I better be able to do it. And she's like, no, don't put that stress on yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you a lot. I think, oh my gosh, like when we have trauma from our parents, I said that's why I mentioned the therapy part. It's so hard because even unintentionally or trying so hard to be like, I'm not going to do that, you end up in another extreme of doing the complete opposite.
I have turned my daughter into a perfectionist and I hate it. Like, she'll be like critiquing her 7-year-old brother and I'm like, London, he is 4 years younger than you.
It sounds like we live in the same life, girl.
I think we might be.
No, for real, because everything you've said so far, isn't it like spot on? Like my daughter is, like, we joke and we're like, oh yeah, you know, their beloved great grandmother here, like, because she acts like she's older than everybody in the house.
Every time we meet the mayor, he calls her assistant mommy because, like, she's be changing diapers, she's wiping noses, and I'm like, stop, go be a kid, go play.
She used to do this thing that infuriated me. Like, she would be like, if any of the kids are crying for anything or whatnot, she's like on my neck. Oh, he needs this, or you need to do, and I'm like, you don't go sit down. Kids, I know this. Like, back up.
Oh
like,
gosh, yeah, we are definitely putting something into our daughters that we didn't mean to.
I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, where's this
I think it's because they see how hard that we work, though. They want to assist and take some of that burden off. That's what it is. It comes from a place of wanting to help.
But they're so mature, it's like scary. Because I'm like, damn, really is she supposed to be this grown at this age? Because I still look at her like she's so young. But she's so mature in some of the stuff that I know she knows. I'm like...
And me and my husband talk about it all the time. It's like, she's me at her age. I didn't become me until I turned 38. Yeah. And so for her to be me at 11, it's a lot. It's too much for them.
Yeah, it really is crazy, and it's just like, damn, like, and when I started going to therapy, right, there is this thing called, like, a parentified child, which I've never heard that term before, girl.
So, oh, Lord, I'm sure I did it. It already sounds like me.
So I had the good first session with her, and first session, she just let me talk. And she just was making notes, and at the end, she prints off this paper, and she's like, have you ever heard of a parentified child? And I was like, no, that's going to sound scary as fuck.
Yeah, it sounds really terrible.
Sounds like a disease. No, but she was like, okay, so what she suspects with me is I'm, like, not suffering, but, like, between 2 things. And the parentified child was one of them. I feel like in my case, I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't count on anybody, parents included, so I just...
You do it all yourself.
Started making decisions for myself at an early age, and I was just like... Now I'm finna be straight regardless, you know, and those aren't normal things. So she's like, yeah, that happens a lot of times, either in cases of where, like, mommy's so busy, so you ask for help from your kid a lot, and then what happens is when you don't need their help anymore, and you're like, why are you sizing up with me, or this and the third, why are you acting so grown? No, go back and be in a child's place. It's like you have them here, and then you're like, no, get back down here, and it's like they've already been programmed in their head to be like, well, I am here, though. They think they're more grown than they are.
How do you undo it?
I know.
I've done this.
Me
Let me
too.
fucking Google it.
So I honestly have just been on a conscious mission to just
stop asking them
for
help.
Because I used to really like, she's so helpful and she wants to help. So I just would be like, wow, just such a great kid.
Right, and like, let me give you something to do.
And certain things, like even like giving them praise for being like
such a good helper.
Yeah. You're so responsible, and everybody constantly be like, wow, you're so mature, like, wow, da-da-da-da-da. It's like they're wearing it as a badge of honor, but they feel like that is their role. So, like, how you say they're, like, so hard on themselves, in their head, if they are not living up to these standards, they are failing. But I'm like, no, you should have never been doing these things. So, I mean, she said it's not necessarily always a bad thing because obviously being
we need some responsibility.
And you grow up with traits of like kind of like
responsible
where
adults.
We just know that we just handle shit.
Yeah.
But it is heartbreaking once you realize, damn, I'm kind of like
I'm leaning on my daughter too much.
Yeah. I was like, but
because
in a different way.
Is definitely me, not a parentified child. He don't know nothing.
Shit, my other two kids don't listen to nothing
like that.
I say.
He probably doesn't even know I'm his mom.
Don't listen to nothing I say, so I know for sure they're not parentified.
Damn.
But well.
Thank you for teaching me that term.
Yeah, and I kept the paper when she gave it to me, and I was like, I was going to send it to my mom and be like, have you ever
heard a picture of that when you get a chance?
I will, but it was...
I'm definitely a parentified child. Like, I was babysitting 5-year-olds when I was 8, and I mean, like, sets of twins.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But I mean, their parents.
Paid?
Yeah, I was getting paid.
That's what's up, though.
I was charging $10 an hour too.
Oh, that's what's
that
up.
That was good money back then.
Yeah, I bet.
Dang, and but like me and my friends, we even started like a little business. It was a babysitters club, but like because I could draw, like I would do sketches and
they would color it in, have artwork.
People would pay for my sketches. We sold candy, and we had a treasurer. She held all the money. We were like a little group of boss women.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we do have so many similarities. Like, when people ask, like, when I started doing hair, I'm like, I've really always been doing something. Like, I was, like, my best friend in high school reminded me that when I was, like, saying I started doing hair, like, when I was, like, older, pregnant. She was like, bitch, you've been doing hair in the bathroom when we were in high school and charging people.
Yes. Me too.
Like, I did, but
I did like 3 girls' hair for prom. On the same day I made my dress. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm finna make this money. And my mom used to
that was my hustle in college too. I did hair.
My mom used to give me money, like my entire lunch money for the entire week, all at once, and I would spend it all on chocolates and stuff. And I would flip it so fast. By the end of Monday, I had so much money. I like quadrupled my lunch money.
I love it.
Because like how your dad would be like, oh, if you can make it, you can wear it. My stepdad and like my mom, their thing would always be like, you can't wear that. Or they would have the excuse of, I don't have the money. So when instead of telling me no, I couldn't go places, they'd be like, I don't have the money for you to go. So I started hustling like a mug. So then I started asking, hey, I just want to know, can I go? I have the money. So can I go? And then
now it's like,
they
what
had
you
to
gonna
just
say?
be like, straight up tell me no, or come up with a different lie. And then I started buying my own clothes because, I mean, my mom was like literally even down to the underwear, buying me ABC underwears in high school and stuff. And
in high school?
High school.
Girl.
I mean, like the 9th grade. And it was embarrassing because, you know, like...
Yeah, you wearing your jeans, somebody can see.
And not even just that, like, we do PE. We all change in the bathroom. This is
that's not okay. Not in high school.
And kids are mean.
They are. Why you got your ABC
people
panties
be like, your mom bought those, and it'd be like...
But see, we are living the same life because I remember I bought my first thong. I was out shopping with my friend now. It was like 3 sizes too big. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I had a thong, and I was like, I got one. I'm cool now.
Like,
they took that bag out of my hand so fast. I didn't I didn't get a whooping, but they were like, why do you feel like you need a thong? And I'm just like, well, because I don't want people to see my panty lines. And they were just like,
I mean, that's a good excuse.
It was the reason that I gave them.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good reason. Like, I wouldn't be too mad at that.
I will never forget, though, because they let me have it, and like I said, it was too big. And I, low-rise jeans were big. I will never forget this guy was like, why is your thong so high? And his name was Bryce. I had the biggest crush on him. I never wore that thong again.
That's embarrassing.
It's super embarrassing.
That is crazy.
I think that's why they let me keep it, because they were like, you're going to show your ass with this. But we'll let you have these big old thongs if you really want them.
You need it so bad.
Yeah. That was me learning the lesson.
I remember when I used to go to my aunt's house, because I had this one, like, bougie aunt, and boy, every time I was at her house, she was, like, my biggest motivation. I was just like, I want to live like this, community like this, and just like, oh my God, she has, like, a patio, and just, her whole house was just so freaking nice, and she traveled a lot.
Yeah, did she have any kids?
She had 2 kids, and they both were, like, not spoiled because they were like down to earth people.
But they had what they needed and everything they wanted.
Like my cousin's dad was working in India the year they were shooting Cheetah Girls, and he sent her pictures from like their production. And I was like,
I remember Cheetah Girls
at the time. I was like,
yeah,
and
Cheetah Girls.
Man, he bought her like he was in Japan for a period of time. You know, Japan is like tech savvy, so she had the latest like coolest phones all the time and. Just everything, and I was just like, wow, like this is the life. And I just always said like I was gonna live just like that when I get older, and I feel bad for this, but Like, I used to, like, not like steal her things, but I used to just go there and
Borrow.
vicariously.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my god, like, these shoes cost
So much
more than my mom's salary. So I'm just gonna
I hear you. Let me just wear these.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wear these the entire time I'm here. I would go there with clothes and wear her clothes the entire time I was here.
Why not?
3 sizes bigger than me because she was always thick. But I just felt like, dang, like, I don't know. For the time I was there, I just was in a different world.
You knew you were destined for greater. That's all.
Yeah, and I feel like, honestly,
like, this is me on the way to the lifestyle I deserve.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I know I'm gonna be.
So let me just get started. But I do believe that phrase. You know, they say, "Fake it till you make it."
Mm-hmm.
I 100% believe you have to embody the life that you want for yourself. Yeah, because and I feel like people that don't might struggle with imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I did for a long time, and I still have my moments. But for the most part, now I'm like, do you know who I am?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I am a big deal.
I am that girl.
You should be respected, no matter who you are. You deserve respect, and I just feel like so many people are getting to that mindset of, oh, be humble, or you don't need to, don't brag. But it's like, why am I keeping my good news to myself?
And what is be humble? Like, I don't know. I feel like people think humble is just some sheepish little mindset. And it's like, oh, I'm so thankful to be here. Like
yeah, but also
I work my
I
ass
deserve
off,
to be
and
here.
I have something that I am bringing in this room as well that is of value. But I don't know. Like, I definitely agree, and I feel like with faking it till you make it, you're able to kind of like just naturally kind of like level up and end up in rooms and in different like social circles, because with you thinking outside of your box, you're going to start trying to speak with people who
and you're not going to limit yourself as much. The fake it till you make it to me is just, it's really about not limiting yourself. Why can't you live on a yacht? Like, if you like save your money and you work your ass off and you get into the right circles and the right rooms that give you access to that.
Right, you find the way.
You find a freaking way.
You find your in. And I'll say this, like, honestly, every time I hang around you, I do feel like I'm around such a caliber of people. I've been meaning to actually hang out with you, because I just feel like you and Nisha would be a time.
Oh, it's fun.
But I always
but we
see
also
pictures.
work hard as hell.
Exactly. And y'all are always doing something. I don't know how you find time to just like, Nisha, y'all just posted y'all were out for St. Patty's Day, and then she posted she's out like passing out flyers.
For ADOT's campaign.
Yes, and she's like out working on St. Patrick's weekend. But I was like, bruh, me when I go out these days, I'd be out for a minute.
You got to get used to it though. I definitely will say it takes some work getting your body used to it.
Yeah, just that work ethic.
Yeah, and I think SCAD helped me there because it was definitely periods of like days where I didn't sleep. Yeah.
I did hear this, that they like that first semester when you get there, even if you have zero experience, they just throw so much at you. You'll have to like get with it, or it's like swim.
It's to me that first quarter. I don't know if they do it as like shock therapy, like let you know this is the big dogs. Yeah. But I definitely experienced that. I think I already talked about it on Facebook.
Feel like hazing?
To an extent, I think it definitely can, because, like, for example, we had a project and we were supposed to use like just random materials to make like a mood board. Well, I was working at Target at the time, and I know when clearance hits, so I just bought like a bunch of different clearance clothes with different textures and different colors, and I used that. I had bought a belt. I made like the belt was like the frame of my display. Like I went like all fucking out, and then I got to class, and the professor's like, "Well, I don't like where you got your materials, so we're gonna let your classmates vote if you should be allowed to submit this." And then he went one by one, and they had to vote on if they thought I should be allowed to.
And it's crazy because obviously the professor already said what he thought. It's almost like pressure because they're new, right?
So they want to be good with the professor. So
or they're going to be that person and be like, the professor's wrong.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Yeah. Now they still voted for me to use it, probably because I started like bawling in the classroom.
Dang.
But yeah, it's. I do feel like it's like hazing to an extent, because like that was our first like real project for him too, and I'm just like, from that moment on, I hated him, but. If I had to judge all of my professors on who I grew the most with, I grew the most with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's kind of an experience there where we teach
for your
a lot.
freshman year, absolutely. And mommy and daddy can't save you, and they can't talk to the professor and say, you're going to take my child's work or not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like it was hazing to an extent, but it was definitely also sink or swim. Either you're going to excel here or you're not. And you're going to either complain or you're not.
Right. I really don't see the point of complaining about things.
Thank you.
It's just,
it's part of the reason why I'm like, don't cry during the production. We can cry at the end, we can cry at the beginning, but don't cry while it's going on.
Saying exactly that, just like that. Be like,
we can talk about this later. I don't, because when it's happening, you don't have time for that.
I need to know, first of all, that you can think quickly.
Yes.
Because if you're going to stop and have a mental breakdown, we
can't
replace you right now.
Because this is going to be hard work. It's always going to be challenging. I'm not doing easy stuff.
And I've never seen a production or anything, a wedding, anything where things go exactly according to plan. So if you're going to get flustered or get like crazy or freak out.
Because you got more feedback than you expected.
Right. Or just like this girl can't do her thing and now I'm asking you to do it and you're like, what? I can't. And it's like, okay, if you can't, like you just can't. But I mean, we're going to do something.
You won't be here next time.
Right. So it's just, I don't know, like people, I guess, I don't know, because I feel like if you watch movies, especially like movies and like related to fashion or anything like that, it is
a cutthroat industry.
Right, you gotta know it requires a lot.
All of them. But I do feel like that's one of the best things about SCAD, because from day one, like, you start getting critiqued. If you can't take feedback, you will not survive at SCAD. So if somebody's being mean or you didn't like what they said about your work, this is not the place for you.
So do you feel like the students were mean or just like professors and stuff like
Professors were strict, students were catty. Like I even had, I'll never forget it, I had a Harlem Renaissance project. And I remember announcing that I was going to do it in the classroom in front of everybody first. I announced first. So why would anybody else have that same project, right? Well, this girl in the same class, black girl, was like, oh, I'm going to do Harlem Renaissance too. Like the movie. And I was pissed, but the professor was like, oh, well, it's just an opportunity for you to do it better than her. And she didn't make either one of us change. Guess who got the A? And who didn't?
Yeah, because that's, like, God don't like ugly. Why would you do that?
Right. And I did so much research before I picked my
and that's the thing, too. If it's not your original thought, you can never really execute it as well as somebody else.
The original.
And I'll say that, too, like, even as far as, like, in a business standpoint, don't close yet. Just look down. In a business standpoint, like, when I would say for people trying to get into something, if you, like, aren't being genuine to yourself, it's gonna be noticeable.
It's gonna show.
It's so hard to actually, like,
pull it off.
Stick.
Yeah. Because it won't be believable.
I realized that with my YouTube channel. I started and stopped it so many times.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I watched too much YouTube. Or just, I don't know. I feel like a part of it was I also probably just didn't know myself. So I feel like I constantly was trying to fit into spaces or just envision, oh, I want to be like this YouTuber, that one. And instead of pulling inspiration from them, I was being way too freaking literal and, like, damn near, like, copying people.
I hear exactly what you mean.
Like, even when I rewatched some of my old stuff and the way I talked, I was like, that doesn't even sound like if a person met me in person, how I would actually talk.
And I think for us, it gets really difficult because our fields are so specific. So, like, when I was doing clothing and people get to the point that they're like, oh, well, you should style this, you should style that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be a stylist then. And I'm like, well, I don't mind styling, but it's not exactly what I want to do. I really want people to have confidence when I'm doing anything that it involves me. So if it's not a bride feeling confident because her gown fits better, or if it's not the client feeling more confident because I've styled them in a way that they're going to resonate better with their audience, then I don't feel like it's what I want to be doing. So styling clothes, it's cool, it's fun, but at the end of the day, I want the person to feel more confident.
Right.
That's why I was like, well, I actually feel like I want to get more into image consulting because there I'm helping them build their confidence, not just in their clothing, but also in how they're presenting themselves, how they walk in the room, how they leave the room, all of that. And clothing is just a part of that.
Right. Yeah, clothes say so much about you. Oh my gosh, as a girl who, well, in Jamaica we wear like uniforms, right? And they're really strict about a lot of things. So, like, we weren't allowed to wear like any hair extensions, makeup, any of that. So, like, all that type of like creativity had to come like after I left school. Look down those clothes, and it was really insane. Blink. So down. It was really so insane because kids, like, even when you wear a uniform, I guess that's why they say wear uniforms, they still find a way to believe for some shit.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I'd be like, dang. But
you need to get a life.
That's how I felt, I guess, on YouTube. Also, when I started on YouTube, it was a way to escape. So I feel like I just also probably didn't want to be myself. I feel like I got on YouTube thinking, this is my escape. I'm just going to be in a La La Land and be somebody else. But it's cringy to watch. I just be watching it like, ugh. And my daughter watching it. And I'm like, turn it down. Turn it down. She's so excited. I guess because she's young. She's
like, look at my mom.
Right. Like, I pick her up at school and she's like, me and my friends were watching your videos at school, and they're like, you know, this your mom.
These kids, like, really put us up on a pedestal. What? I can't tell you how many times London's been like, so-and-so said she saw you on the news and she wants to be a designer just like you. And I'm like,
no pressure.
No, right, like, I don't want your friends watching me. Like, not that close.
No pressure. Jesus. Yeah, because then it makes me feel like if I mess up and do something bad one day, your friends are going to be like, yeah, like, why'd your mom do this?
Yeah, but talk about the deep topics today.
I love it. No, this is not going to come off, is what I'm saying, because it's waterproof. So it's going to.
I'm still not crying. Talking about like kids and helping kids, and I just like nothing that they endure as a child, in my opinion, is their fault. Everything either comes from an adult or should have been stopped by an adult. And so, as an adult, I feel like it's my responsibility to try and make their circumstances better in any way that I can.
Agreed.
Not even just my kids.
Agreed. Yes. I'm glad you said that, because I feel like so many people are just wired to just be so self-centered that they really just don't think about anything unless, just like with politics, what we said, until it affects them.
They don't care or know that they can affect it.
Yeah, because when I see certain things happening, it really is just like ass backwards to me. And as a person who's been in the system and all of that too, I know.
Yeah.
Person who's been in the system, I like always told myself that when I get like older and once I feel like I've made it, I definitely want to feel like I
can give back. You just took that lash out of my hand, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I dropped it.
Be like, yeah, one drop. Yeah. But
hold on, it feels like something's in there. Okay, it's good now. This is good because I was thinking about going to get drinks after we certify, so I can be all cute.
Oh, you look so good.
Thank you.
All right, so while I'm doing this last part, I'm going to let you talk your ish. So if there's anything that you want to shout your business out for, yourself, anything you are super proud of, achievement-wise, or anything that you've done recently.
Sure. Which one should I look at? Or should I direct at anyone in particular?
The center camera.
Okay. So... yeah, I'd say biggest thing to shout out my business is we won Best of Georgia for 2023 for alterations and tailoring. We were also featured in Essence regarding tailoring and alterations and avant-garde evening design, as well as the dying trade of alterations and how I'm one of the best at it in the state, apparently, according to the voters. I would definitely like to say that we're located at 1113 South Rogers Street by appointment only. We don't take walk-ins because we give all of our clients very focused one-on-one customer service. Image consulting is probably one of the more popular options that we have available right now because so many people have opened businesses and want to open themselves up to an elevated clientele. And that is one of the things that I'm really, really good at focusing on for clients. And then really just anybody that wants something made, Anybody that wants something made that is out of the ordinary, that you would never see walking down the street, or you just look at it and you're like, how did they even do that? That's my bread and my butter. Like, I love the creative, strange things.
Yes. And I definitely will just piggyback on that too. And as far as like every time I work with you or senior designs, they are out the box. I think like your personality.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I feel like when people look at you, they can probably sort of tell that there's something about you. But then when they start talking to you, they'll realize, oh yeah, she's
Thank you.
doing a whole bunch of everything, which is great. And I will say for a serial multitasker like myself. Yes. You do it really well.
Thank you.
I think even if you are stressing, we would never know.
That's the goal.
So just keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, I appreciate you taking the time for me today, Miss Busy Bee.
Thank you.
And we will be looking forward to seeing you at your next event or next event.
I'll be looking forward to working with you at my next event.
Yes. All right, let me let you see yourself because this whole time
I do want to see.
And then we'll get you out of here.
This has to dry, but oh wow, it's gorgeous.
You like it?
Yeah,
and it
looks so
the
soft
purple in your hair. Yeah, and obviously you know the pink and the green is gonna go so well.
I love the color.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at. And the little waterline, even though it made you water, like it does look really good, and it's gonna look real good when you go out tonight.
Yeah.
A little black on it and stuff.
Yeah. You did it again.
You were ready to slay the rest of your day.
Thank you for your assistance.
You are
on my slay game.
You are welcome.